Is the tech industry itself the first place that AI job losses are going to show up? Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief. One of the most important discussions that we track here is the way in which AI is impacting jobs. And a lot of this so far has been theoretical. But the deeper into AI we get, the more we have a chance to actually see how it's impacting things in real life. And in a new research report, data-driven VC firm Signalfire believes that they are starting to see the first signs of AI's impact on hiring. The report is called the State of Talent Report 2025. It's based on a platform they've built called Beacon, which tracks over 650 million professionals in 80 million organizations. What they found is fairly dramatic. Entry-level hiring, they say, is collapsing, and a generational hiring shift is leaving new graduates behind. Signalfire writes, "The tech world has long been synonymous with innovation, breakneck growth, and boundless opportunities. The door to tech once swung wide open for new grads. Today, it's barely cracked. The industry's obsession with hiring bright-eyed grads right out of college is colliding with new realities. Smaller funding rounds, shrinking teams, fewer new grad programs, and the rise of AI." And really what's interesting here is that we're starting to see a bit of a separation from just the post-COVID reversion to the mean and the lean years after the big boom years during that period. You might remember this crazy chart that was flying around of software engineering job postings on Indeed. Many people were sharing just between 2022 and 2025 when there was more than a 70% drop-off. But if you zoom back out, we actually just saw a reversion to the pre-pandemic mean. Now, however, we're starting to see impacts that seem to not just be about larger macro effects. Even as the market recovered, there has been a sharp divide between senior-level hires and entry-level hires. Between 2023 and 2024, every demographic with 2 years of experience or more saw a big increase in both startups, but especially in big tech. But there was a massive decline in entry-level hiring. In big tech, for example, entry-level hiring was down 25% in 2024. If you zoom farther back, new grad hiring is down over 50% from pre-pandemic levels in 2019. That's for big tech. New hires of grads were down 11% for last year and down over 30% from their pre-pandemic levels in 2019. The total percentage of hires that were entry-level has about halved for both of these categories. And what's more, this is a trend beyond tech. Data from the Reserve Bank of New York shows that the unemployment rate for recent college grads is rising much faster than young workers in general over the past year. Recent grads currently have a 5.8% unemployment rate as compared to 4% for the overall population. This is the highest unemployment rate for new grads dating back to 2013, ignoring the pandemic, and also the first instance of new grad unemployment data trending up over a multi-year period since the data series began in 1990. Data from the Law School Admissions Council found applications for 2025 were up roughly 21% compared to last year, which is a common trend during recessions. Basically, putting off workplace entry by going to law school tends to be more attractive when job opportunities are slim. Now, Signalfire does point out that there are more potential explanations for this than just AI. They write, "The bigger driver may be the end of the free money madness driven by low interest rates that we saw in 2020 and 2022, along with the overhiring and inflation it led to. Now, with tighter budgets and shorter runways, companies are hiring leaner and later. Carta data shows that Series A tech startups are 20% smaller than they were in 2020. And yet at the same time, they do think that AI is part of the story." They continue, "The shift isn't just about hiring less. It's a hiring reset. As AI tools take over more routine entry-level tasks, companies are prioritizing roles that deliver high-leverage technical output. Big tech is doubling down on machine learning and data engineering, while non-technical functions like recruiting, product, and sales keep shrinking, making it especially tough for Gen Z and early career talent to break in. According to their data, only around 70% of computer science grads from the class of 24 found employment within 6 months, and only 61% of those were employed as engineers, with just 12% finding positions at Mag 7 companies. Each of those numbers are down significantly from recent years and at or near a 5-year low. The World Economic Forum Futures of Job report also recently found that the issues for young grads goes beyond the tech sector. They wrote, "Are entry-level jobs on the way out? For decades, entry-level roles have provided essential training grounds for newcomers to step into the world of work. From finance to journalism, junior staff have traditionally handled the grunt work as a rite of passage as much as a development opportunity. But as AI reshapes the career ladder, these early entry points could be increasingly at risk." According to the WEF survey, 40% of employers plan to reduce their workforce in areas where AI can automate tasks. Business Insider recently wrote that the number of entry-level positions in consulting and finance are down, with, quote, "several big firms considering offering lower salaries," reasoning that AI would take on some of the workload. A recent report from Hiring Lab found that 49% of Gen Z job hunters believe AI has reduced the value of their college education. Still, the World Economic Forum didn't think it was all doom and gloom. They wrote, Gen AI could democratize access to jobs, making it easier to build the technical knowledge and skills that have historically excluded otherwise qualified workers. Rather than eliminating entry-level opportunities altogether, companies could harness AI to train the next generation of senior professionals. From law firms saying goodbye to the billable hour, to more emphasis on apprenticeships, traditional structures could be redefined. As Gen AI becomes further embedded in the workplace, companies will need to invest in substantial upskilling efforts to prepare their employees for the AI-driven economy. Still, what I think that we're experiencing is an example of how challenging transitional periods can be. If you are a regular listener to this show, you'll know that I am net bullish on how all of this shakes out. I think that AI is going to bring massive disruption to the way that we work. I think almost everyone's job, in terms of the things we spend our time on, actually looks pretty different in 5 years. I think that the market absorbs a huge amount of talent that would have otherwise been absorbed into these big companies in new and interesting ways. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to be extraordinarily painful along the way. And what's more, it's not even as simple as whether people get replaced or not. There's also the question of what jobs look like. In response to a post from Aaron Francis that read, I think the appetite for software is nearly infinite. I've been using AI to extensively write code, and yet the number of things I still need to code has increased, not decreased. It's like we added 3 lanes to the highway and still have traffic. And again, this is my base case for optimism. Cal Irvine responds, that's why I always thought the AI will replace developer jobs narrative is kind of silly. Like software products would just be finished if only we had the manpower. If that's true, then surely the tech giants would be finished by now. We aren't going to lose our jobs, we're just going to do more. This question of more is another serious one. The New York Times recently wrote a piece titled, At Amazon, some coders say their jobs have begun to resemble warehouse work. 3 Amazon engineers told the newspaper that, quote, managers had increasingly pushed them to use AI in their work over the past year. The engineers said that the company had raised output goals and had become less forgiving about deadlines. It has even encouraged coders to gin up new AI productivity tools at an upcoming hackathon. One Amazon engineer said his team was roughly half the size it had been last year, but it was expected to produce roughly the same amount of code by using AI. A labor economist at Harvard said, things look like a speed up for knowledge workers. There's a sense that the employer can pile on more stuff. One of the things that employees and companies will have to negotiate is how to distribute the benefits of the productivity gains from AI. If it's purely to double or triple the expected output of each worker, it seems pretty likely to cause problems. But there are obviously more ways to come at it than just that. And this, I think, gets back to a conversation that we have pretty regularly here, which is the need for leadership. The impact of AI for an employee base runs a wide spectrum from dehumanizing to rehumanizing. Where companies fall is going to largely be based on leadership decisions. And not only decisions, but articulations of those decisions and engagement with employees to get their buy-in. Without that engagement, you're going to see more and more combativeness, expressed, for example, in this battle between Politico's newsroom and its management over the use of AI. So I think for me, the takeaway is not that we should all be frantic, but it is to recognize that we're starting to get a clear view into some of the challenges that come with AI. One that appears to be emerging is the early career mentorship gap. If no one hires entry-level workers, we're going to lose an entire generation that never has the chance to train up. Unless, of course, we design something different for them. Certainly my response reading this is to think about how I and my companies could scoop up talent that might not previously have been available. But whatever the case, it's a good reminder that no matter how bullish we are, the transition is going to be messy, and we need to go into it with clear eyes. For now, though, that's going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief. Thanks for listening or watching as always, and until next time, peace